Hello and welcome into another live edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin, going to be joined momentarily by Jimmy Haskell. And of course, DK is in the background helping us out. In this episode, we're going to talk about kind of a recap of what we saw over the weekend, some stories that came out over the last couple days. And we'll start to kind of do a little bit of a sneak peek into what's upcoming this weekend. But before we do, got to, of course, shout out today's sponsor, which is BetOnline. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NFL, NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers and hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. And look, this is you talk about anticipation at a game. I think it's pretty easy to say that this upcoming weekend matchup between the Ravens and the Bills is definitely the most highly anticipated matchup of the weekend. All other matchups are taking a backseat to this one. We have the two favorites of MVP heading off. Two teams that really playing well, trending in the right direction. Both teams finished the season strong, except for the Buffalo Bills. I believe they had a kind of laid down for the one of those at the end. But for the most part, both teams came into the playoffs playing really well, and both teams had good wild card weekend showing. So yeah, can't wait to get into it. Of course, we'll have our preview show in a couple of days, but did want to get into some things really quickly here that we've noticed over the weekend. And man, I mean, for any Ravens fans that was kind of doubting or questioning as to why Diontae Johnson just didn't make it on this team, I think the answer was made pretty clear over the weekend with the Houston Texans. Really, I don't know if it's fair to say it's an upset because they were the home team and they were the higher seed, but most people were picking the Chargers to win that game. In fact, some went as far, I think Stephen A. Smith said it was a bye week. Who was it that said this was a bye week for the Chargers? Or I think it was Rex Ryan. I believe it was Rex Ryan who said that. Just expected a complete and total beatdown. And the Texans showed up and they played. They picked off Justin Herbert a bunch of times. In fact, he threw more interceptions in that game than he had all season. And they had a resounding win, a dominant win. And, of course, the newest member of their team, Diontae Johnson, he had one catch in the game. I believe it was a 15-yard catch. And reports quickly started to come out after that about, once again, him showing, that he was unhappy with his role and felt that he deserved a bigger piece of a bigger part of the game. And you can see here, thanks to Landry Locker, who tweeted this out, Diontae Johnson made a scene in the locker room after the game where cigars were literally being smoked. The team was bonding, happy to get a W. He goes on to say it's very easy to see why Tomlin was over him, not Pickens, and Baltimore, one of the best organizations in the NFL, bailed. So that's pretty insane to think about. Like, he just got there, just like he just got to Baltimore, and was expecting to immediately get thrust into a role where he gets, I don't know how many targets would have satisfied Diontae Johnson, but clearly what he did get was not enough. And it's just absolutely puzzling. It's a shame, man. I mean, this guy is literally burning money with his decision-making. It's crazy. It's like, just imagine if this guy would have just did what, just do what you're supposed to do. Come in, do your job. Don't make a scene. Don't be a baby. Don't sit and sulk and cry while the rest of the team is celebrating a huge playoff win. Just come in and do your job like everyone else. And he would have gotten millions and millions of dollars this upcoming offseason because there's no doubt that the guy is talented. But nobody, I don't care. I mean, unless you're supreme, like so damn good that they'll put up with anything, no GM is going to sign up for this kind of headache, and certainly no coach is going to sign off on that acquisition, knowing that as soon as this guy doesn't get enough carries or the amount of, targets, the amount of targets he deems necessary, then he's going to throw a fit and become a distraction in the locker room. And I'm sorry, Diontae Johnson, as much talent as you do have, you are a talented player. You're not that talented. You're not that good. to be making all these waves and pissing everybody off around you. Like, it's nonsense. It's silly. And he's I think he's only hurting himself. I think if he gets a contract next season, which he may, by a team that's desperate for talent and trying to sell tickets, maybe a first year coach or a guy who maybe has a history with this, maybe a coach on his staff has a history with Diontae, and maybe they had some. That's the only way, and it's going to be a minimum. Like, there's nobody going to be giving this guy a bag, and he certainly was on track to with his performance while he was at Carolina. That's why the Ravens traded for him. But yeah, I mean, unbelievable. Let's see what's going on in the chat. What's going on, Assad, Jax? Oh, what's going on? Oh, he ain't Terrell Owens. Yeah, exactly. He ain't T.O. He's not even George Pickens. Like, they're putting up with George Pickens BS because the dude's extremely talented. As soon as this talent level starts to drop and he stops winning 50-50 balls and all that, he's going to get his ass cut too, because he's a goofball just like Diontae. And look, there's reason why these guys dropped where they did in the draft, and it's because they don't know how to keep their mouth shut and just do their job. It's crazy, man. Stay Purple, yeah, he's terrible. Stay Perpin. Oh, sorry about that. Mark, yeah, Rex. Yeah, it was Rex who said that, I thought, which was kind of silly. I don't think Rex has much of an opportunity to get a new head coaching job after some of the things he's been saying the last couple of days. Doesn't seem like the CEO of your franchise, which is what you're hiring when you hire a head coach. Maryland, Texas. Yeah, Deontay's a clown. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming in. DPG. Josh is from California. Who's Josh? I'm not sure who Josh is, DPG. People act like, yeah. No, they're just talking about because Josh played at, North Dakota. So all of his playing career, both college and pro, has been in incredibly cold weather places. So that's what they're talking about, I guess, when they're complimenting his ability to play in cold weather. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, man. It just makes you shake your head when you see a guy as talented as Deontae Johnson just continuously shooting himself in the foot. But, oh well, move on from him. He's not the Ravens' problem anymore. He is now the problem of, I guess he's not even a problem of the Texans. They cut his ass too. So he's not even their problem. All right, let me move on to, I had to talk about that. And guys, if you're missing Jimmy, he will be here very shortly here. But let me pull up another thing, because I just thought this was so cool. When we were at the game, we were watching the Ravens play. I'll admit it. Now, I had a couple of alcoholic beverages in me. I'll say that as a qualifier. But I was going, who the hell is that guy who keeps getting all these targets early? I didn't even know who this guy was. And I literally talk about the Ravens quite often here on this channel. But Ryan Mink put a tweet up here that I think says it best. This Ravens offense is so multiple. It's so versatile that they can plug in and play a guy like Anthony Miller, who had one regular season catch to his name, and Steven Sims, who was just claimed in week 17. And not only did they play, but these guys were productive members of the team. Sure, Steven Sims had the muffed punt that he ended up jumping on, thank goodness, and certainly wasn't perfect. But, I mean, he also had a 15-yard carry that was pretty big in the game, turned into a first down. And then Anthony Miller, 3 targets. He caught all 3 of them. I mean, so it's just kind of crazy. Like, just look at that. That's a perfect example of what Deontae Johnson's opportunity could have been. I mean, who the heck is Anthony Miller? This guy gets 3 targets in a playoff game at home early, important targets. Steve Sims is your kicker or your punt returner, and he gets offensive snaps and a carry. I mean, it's absolutely, yeah, I was a little tipsy, DPG. I was a little tipsy. It was a late night, let me tell you. Your boy was up till the sun was coming up, celebrating that W. But just wanted to shout out Todd Monken and really the entire Ravens staff for not only getting these guys up to speed, especially in the case of Steven Sims. So certainly credit gets to Chris Horton, who's the special teams coordinator. I'm sure he helped a lot with getting Steven Sims up to speed with the punt return game, but really all the coaches to not only get these guys in the building, up to speed, learn the playbook, but then to become contributing members of a playoff win is pretty damn special. Yeah, I mean, Jax, I'm with you. It's like it is kind of puzzling as to why Tez isn't getting more involved. Maybe that's not the skill set that they wanted. Maybe they felt replacing Zay, they needed a more shifty, quick guy, which is more Anthony Miller's game than what Tez can offer. He doesn't really play that style, that short area quickness, making guys take a 2-yard pass and shake a couple guys and try and turn it into something bigger. That's not really Tez's game. But to your point, I would like to see some more of Tez involved in the offense. I mean, why not if you're shorthanded with Zay being out? I think it'd be kind of smart. Yeah, I did get the name of that third couch guest who was sleeping, who I did not know his name. Oh, what was his name? I think it was it Jeremy? I think it was Jeremy. I think he lives in the building and he wandered into the wrong house. And we were just like, okay with it because he had a Ravens jersey on and he was gone before we woke up. So, no harm, nothing was missing. So shout out to that guy. And he wasn't even a snorer. I mean, what more could you ask for? But yeah, appreciate you asking because that was absolutely hair. Oh, Wyoming, not North Dakota. Okay. All right. Damn it. Why did I think North Dakota? A lot of players have come. Was it Wentz? Wentz. Okay. Yeah. A lot of players have come out of North Dakota. I know they're we don't know what he said. When we woke up, Quan, he was gone. Where he was sleeping was now empty. So we don't know what he said, but he was gone before I woke up at 9:30. That's right. 9:30. Still got up early. Been up till 5:30. Oh my gosh. It was absolutely insane. And that was not a soda I was drinking. Somebody was like, I saw that soda. That was a Dirty Bird Orange Crush, baby. That's right. Only the best. But let me see here. What else did I have on the docket here to get into? Yes. Yeah, I think this was kind of interesting. I know we're going to talk more, of course, about the Bills matchup. But before we get any further, I thought this was pretty surprising to see. The Buffalo Bills have never, in their entire organizational history, have never been a home playoff underdog. In fact, they've had 18 home playoff games in their franchise's history, and all 18 they've been the favorite, except for the early lines for this coming Sunday's game. The Ravens start as a 1-point favorite at the Bills. And again, 18 previous home games, they've always been the favorite since 1970. So, look, I think that's telling because every home team gets a 3-point advantage. And I think certain home fields get a little bit extra, right? Like a home field matchup in Seattle, for instance. I think you're going to give that visiting opponent maybe 4 points. For the Chiefs, same thing, because those are two stadiums that break the decibel record when it comes to volume in the stadium. And I think certain home field advantages, like the Bills, with being such a cold weather area, it's supposed to be. I think the wind chill is projected like 17 degrees or 14 degrees, something cold. I think they should get a 4 points as a natural. If both teams are created equal, they should get a 4-point boost being the home team. So the fact that the Ravens open as a 1-point favorite, I think is incredibly telling. What do you think, Jimbo? And welcome back to the show.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I was actually a little surprised by this, partly because the narrative always seems to be, how can we this might just me as a Ravens fan, but all the narrative I've seen is like, how can we make it seem as though the Ravens' efforts were diminished. You diminish the Ravens' efforts from Saturday and somehow make the Bills look like the best team in the AFC. It seems like that's the job of the media right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fooling themselves if they don't think Buffalo is shaken in their icy boots, that Baltimore is about to come up into their stadium, and they're not playing an AFC East opponent. They're not playing an AFC West opponent outside of the Chiefs. We already spanked them once when our defense was last in the league in everything. And now we have a real defense. So this is a telling tale here, and it's got me encouraged, Glenn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's
because they could have gone the other way, right? Easy.
Absolutely. I think that's a big deal. 1 point, yeah, people might go, that's not that. I think that's saying something. At least the odds makers aren't terribly off ever. Like they always seem to get it right. Even when it looks like like, damn, they got it wrong this time. Look at this ass whipping. And then sure enough, that late touchdown or something will happen and they end up being pretty spot on. So yeah, man. Odds makers think the Ravens are definitely at least a slight favorite, maybe more than slight since they're the home team or the road team.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. I'm really excited for this game in general and look forward to it. But yeah, no, that line is interesting. I mean, I think what do you think the motivating factors were? I think the fact that the old saying, right? Defense travels, and right now our defense is playing well. And then a run game travels, and they aren't, their forte is not stopping the run, right? I think ultimately, Glenn, what this game comes down to is this: which defense takes an opportunity to turn 7 into 3, or gets a costly turnover, or opportunistic turnover, or of course cause the other team to punt 1 or 2 times. Every drive is going to be so important, I think, in this game. In every game they are, but specifically in this game where both offenses are so potent, because if one team, whether it be the Ravens or otherwise, get out in a lead, this thing could get interesting real quick. Certainly if it's the Ravens, the way that they can control the ball. Now let me ask you this, Glenn. Do you envision James Cook having the game that he did against the Broncos against us?
No, of course not. No running back has. Even the great Saquon Barkley barely scratched over 100 yards with this new Ravens defense. So no, I mean, I guess there's always the opportunity where you could pop a long run. It's possible, but I don't think it's very likely when you look at this run defense right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And I mean, he had a game, man.
Oh yeah.
So that's definitely going to be interesting to see. What do you see as the biggest, what's your biggest concern? What's the biggest threat that they pose to you in your mind? I know we're going to get into this in our preview show, but I'm curious to get some of your, at least initially, right? Like all this is we can still change it come Thursday, right? But like, what is it for you right now?
Yeah, well, they got a really good offensive line, led by their left tackle, Dawkins, who's, I think, just as surprised as a lot of people that he wasn't the all-pro left tackle. I think he certainly played well enough to deserve that honor. But, yeah, they got a great offensive line. As far as their receiving threats, I think they're underrated. Shakir is one of the best yards after catch receiver in the entire league. You get him the ball short, doesn't matter. You get it to him intermediate or long, and he'll turn it into a big chunk play. I think, like you said, Cook, while I don't think he's going to have the impact he's had in some other games, I think he's always overlooked. Like everybody just acts like he's not a good player simply because they don't give him the ball enough.
Right.
Let's be honest. He's a good player. He just doesn't. They don't commit enough to giving him the ball. Look what they did early in the season. His numbers, they got away with it or away from it because that's what Buffalo does. They just don't believe in a strong run game. But he is a good player. And then of course, Josh Allen's ability to extend plays will always allow for potential big chunk plays down the field. If the pass rush isn't able to get the guy on the ground, then there could be the potential for Amari Cooper, popping open, or Dalton Kincaid, or I mean they got talent. So sure, there's concern, and but that's only because they're a good team, and you got to show respect. But I still certainly have confidence in our guys. But Jimbo, I want to ask you real quick. Oh, here we go. Just now, B. Fowler says, just now coming down from Saturday night at the bank. Yeah, what a night it was, man.
I'm just trying not to get too mentally hung up on it because, I have some impact on the Ravens, right? Like, I just want to make sure that wasn't the height. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still need to keep ascending.
Didn't feel like it from all the stuff I've heard from the Ravens players.
No, it doesn't.
Or coaches. They seem like they understood this is just one step in the right direction, but quickly wanted to get your take. Zay Flowers right now very much up in the air with his status. Some people, the social media doctors are saying that it's unlikely. Harbaugh mentioned today that Zay Flowers could play without practicing.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. What do you think, first of all, do you believe him there? Do you think there's any chance that he doesn't play a snap in practice, but suits up for the game?
Oh, I believe that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Has that ever happened? And I can't recall player.
Didn't T.O. do that when he broke his leg?
I'm talking about on the Ravens. I can't recall a single Raven who has ever played in a game who didn't practice all week ever. I can't remember one.
I don't know. I feel like it's happened to Lamar before. Wasn't Lamar sick one time real bad or something? And then he anyway, I feel like that's happened somewhere. Has to have, right? Like this,
I don't remember ever happening.
I could see it totally happen. I could see it totally happening for sure.
I think that's all smoke. I think John is blowing smoke up our rear end. There ain't no chance. If he ain't practicing, there's no chance he's playing. No chance.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I guess I just wouldn't say no chance. I guess there's extremely slight chance that he would play. Because it could definitely happen. I mean, it's really interesting how the offense was able to show their versatility in this game. And I think in a short span, it almost makes it a little trickier to defend them. Stick with me here, Glenn. Like, not saying that without Zay we're better. Not saying that over 17 game period, over, 1 game period, right? Like, I'm not saying that, but I think that we had we couldn't use our same tendencies. And so I think it makes it a little trickier, right? Like, now we're using likely in different ways. I'm not saying that Miller is Zay or that Miller's better. Like, nothing crazy like that. I'm just saying that the offense undoubtedly has to look a little different, which at this late stage in the season, in the postseason now, there's just not a ton of tape without Zay. Is, I guess, really my point.
Unpredictability is what it's bringing. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, we know who we are. Teams know who we are, but the guys are being used a little differently, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it does provide, like you said, a little bit of uncertainty as to what our game plan is going to be at least from a pass catcher standpoint. So in that regard, it makes a lot of sense. But also what I think the result of that will be is something else I want to pull up here. And it will change the game plan. And that could be to the detriment of the Buffalo Bills here. If you look at what they did on Wild Card Weekend, they came out heavy, Jimbo. I'm talking they brought the beef. Ravens went with multiple backs or tight ends or both on 89% of their snaps on Wild Card Weekend. This season, the Bills have used their base defense personnel in just 3.6% of snaps. That's the lowest rate in the entire league. In fact, they ran dime 16% of the snaps, but typically they're in their nickel defense, which is a smaller, more DBs on the field, less linebackers, and even their linebackers, while talented, Matt Milano is an absolute monster. He's great in coverage. He's smaller. He is a smaller guy who's faster. I think this is also a result of Zay being out. The fact that they said, all right, well, we're just going to bring a bunch of beef on the field. We're going to smack you in the mouth with it. And then we'll also be able to pass out of it effectively because, by the way, our tight ends are absolute monsters and can run with the best of them. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then when you kind of go,
so you're saying that Monken listened to me. Remember I said this in the pregame? He needs to go back to his Georgia days, get the tight ends out there, and have them dominate the game. Remember that?
That's right. I mean, he has to listen, Jimbo.
Dude,
I think there's no other explanation. And further that, in week 4, when the Bills lost to this very Ravens team 35-10, the Ravens used multiple running backs, tight ends, or both in 75% of snaps. And the Bills tried to counter that by going uncharacteristically heavy and going 24% of their snaps in base, despite the fact they typically only do that 3% of the time. And the result was the Ravens ran for 247 yards because the Bills are just too damn small in a lot of ways. So, I think Zay's injury, while, like you said, it hurts. It's not good to not have Zay Flowers. It could force the Ravens' hand in going heavy, which ultimately could be the smartest game plan to beat the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a really fun game, an interesting game to watch from a coaching perspective. How will they employ their strategies? But like you said, one of the things that I hope we don't see, that I feel very confident this won't happen now in Monken's second year, is like, let's not think this thing, right? Now this game certainly plays even more into our hands, where I think that something like that would have happened against the Steelers, where you got Zay out, you got a familiar opponent, and then he kind of overthinks it and tries to beat him in a way that you wouldn't expect us to beat him. Even though Henry ran over him last time, we still know that they're a decent run defense. You would think maybe he tries something different. Whatever. This game seems to be lining up. Everybody knows what we're going to do. But still, at the end of the day, I think it takes faith, takes confidence, takes courage to say, whatever you're going to do on defense, this is what we're doing, right? And until you stop that, this is simply what we're doing. I know a lot of people didn't like Lamar running at the beginning of the game, and I understand everyone gets nervous about him taking hits and things like that, and I want him to obviously avoid hits and otherwise, but what he did just presses the issue. What Lamar did sets up Henry in the second, in the third, and in the fourth quarter, right? Because they were overcommitting to Henry. He's like, fine, I'll just take it every single time. Pop, you're chipping away. And then obviously you see what Derek, and I'm not saying it was all Lamar that, Derek obviously still got to do the job. O-line's got to do their job, but that had a lot to do with it. I have no qualms with Lamar saying, you're going to let me tuck it and run it. Let's not forget that I'm the best running quarterback in the history of the NFL, and it's really not close. So while I've improved as a passer, don't forget, this isn't an asterisk to my game. This is my game. Like, this is what I do, right? So that'll also be interesting to see because, like I said, I'm glad that he didn't shy away from it. You know what I'm saying? He just leaned right into it.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. And for those who always say that Derrick Henry's presence on this team is the reason why Lamar shouldn't win MVP, I mean, I don't think you need a better clip than this one right here from the touchdown run over the weekend. And I think it's really proves your point, Jimbo, is how Lamar taking that ball and running early. Look at how the defense sells out to Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Look at all those defenders. Look at them all.
Yep.
And there goes Derrick, and there goes Pat Queen too, by the way, who absolutely gave up.
Have you seen the same exact thing happens? Have you seen the direct snap play?
Yeah.
They're literally pointing, and Patrick Queen, they all shade as soon as the ball is snapped. They all to the offense's right. They all, they beeline to the right, and Derrick parts the sea like Moses.
Yep.
It's just crazy, right? Like that was just wild. I'm sure Derrick Henry hasn't seen openings like that since like high school, man, or like maybe Bama days or something. But is this that play?
This is it right here.
The direct snap. Yeah, this is wild. Let's see here.
Watch.
Okay, so they're like, all right, stay still. We're good. Now watch this.
Get him.
See him. Oh, dude, it's just crazy, man.
Like,
and then yeah, but you saw him like.
Oh yeah, here's a different angle. Look at the angle in which they literally start
here comes
sprinting
Lamar.
to the left.
Here comes Lamar.
That's it. Hey, Pat, where you at over there, Pat?
Yeah, nowhere to be found.
What are you doing? So yeah, and one thing I will say that pissed me off a little bit about Pat Queen. Did you see the report come out after that he had 4 bags? Yeah. He had flu-like symptoms, and so Jimbo, what the hell? Hold on, where is it? Oh, I just had it. A picture of them two hugging after the game. Lamar and I can't find it now, but Lamar and Pat Queen are hugging after the game. What's he trying to get our guy sick? Right.
I know. My wife texted me that and was like, "That's super petty if he was really sick and trying to get the Ravens sick after that game."
It's.
I like to think that's not the case. It was more about him just wanting to play.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Obviously I'm kind of being silly, but it's still, we cannot have any risk of flu-like symptoms running through this locker room, especially not with our quarterback.
Hey, I want to read something to you. I'm going to kind of change subjects on you, but I just saw this. So Glenn, I want you to get, this is tough to guess. I don't know if you saw this graph. There were 6 O-linemen that allowed 0 pressures in the wild card round. Do you think that you could name any of them if you had to guess?
In the for the whole league.
Yeah. 2 of them are on the okay, so 2 are on the Eagles.
Okay.
So you should probably be.
I saw Lane Johnson get beat, so it can't.
Well, actually, Lane Johnson's on this list, so he must have escaped a.
You know what? He held. That's right. Okay. He held him and tackled the guy because he was going to get beat.
So he's on this list.
All right, Mailata's
on this list.
Okay, and then
so you got 1/3 of the list, right? Yeah.
I got 1/3. Well, I'm going to guess that the Ravens
one
got
Raven
some people on that list. I'm going to guess. Is it Linderbaum?
It's only one,
or is it Stan? I'm going to go Lindy.
Nope.
Stanley?
Nope.
Oh no, are you gonna say it's Falele, dude?
Falele, dude.
No, son of a gun. Pro bowler, Pro Bowl
Dude.
alternate, baby.
Hey, you saw what he did to Cam Hayward, right?
Dude, he had a hell of a game, man. Just, I mean, look, I'm shocked how good he's been playing, but you got to give him credit. The guy's been balling.
Constant improvement is what John talked about, and that's what we've been seeing. Sometimes you gotta what's Embiid's nickname?
The process.
Sometimes you just gotta trust it, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, holy smokes, man. This guy, you talk about putting in the work and getting better throughout the year. Who would have thought we'd be at this point where he's playing that well against the Steelers and he's in a Pro Bowl alternate where we started with Daniel Falele? Absolutely insane.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is insanity. Assad says, summary, Bills defense is too light in the rear end, 22 points, or 22 going for, sorry, not 22 points, 22 as in Derrick Henry going for 150 plus. You heard KVN, Pittsburgh got belt to rear end. Love the vibes right now from the team. Let's go. Yeah.
Dude, did you hear KVN, by the way, talking about it?
I didn't hear him. No.
Dude, he said he knew they were done from the start. Remember, and you pointed out, remember when the Steelers took the ball to start the game? They chose to receive. He said they've never done that. The fact that he said, I just smelled desperation. As soon as they did it, I smelled the scent of desperation. And he said, and we were insulted. Like, oh, you're going to take the ball on offense. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And yeah, they took belt to ass. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's only one team I think right now that has the right or the chops to do that, and that's probably the Ravens. Based on this year, like offensively, right? Like,
yeah,
we could just we could do something like that. But certainly, yeah, I thought that was an interesting strategy to employ. As if their offense was good enough, they would have confidence enough to go down the field and score, and then all of a sudden we'd be in a 7-0 hole, and they would just be able to pin their ears back with JJ 0 watts. Statistics, right? Like that would light bulb was boop, boop, out, dude. No watts in that light bulb, dude.
And as good as Falele played, and he certainly deserves credit. How about how Roger Rosengarten was dancing on an island with Watt, and Watt had no answers. Dude was giving up on some plays because he saw it was no getting by the wall that is Roger Rosengarten.
Let's go, dude. I love hearing that, and I think I said it before, but Eric DaCosta did it again, man.
Dude, he nailed it. I mean, this guy is going to be all pro type, player for the next, 10, 12 years in Baltimore. I mean, imagine this guy with 15 to 20 pounds of muscle on him. Like, he's already, first of all, his anchor has already gotten it good enough throughout the season to where he's not getting thrown back into and that was the only thing missing from this guy's game was the potential that a strong bull rushing DN could push him backwards. Well, now he's catching guys at full speed and he's putting the brakes on them. So, yeah, that guy's impressive. No doubt about it. But also, Court W brings it up in the chat here, and I want to pull up the drive exactly. The Ravens had a drive, Jimbo, and look, it's hard when you're in the stadium and also when there's adult beverages flying. That you can really notice all this, but the Ravens had an 85-play drive that spanned 13 plays that were all runs, and they scored a touchdown against the Steelers.
Awesome, right?
I mean, that has got to be the most insulting thing you can do against a defense. Just punch him in the mouth. And Elliott said it the best at the end of the game. He said it's way worse giving up 300 yards on the ground compared to 300 through the air.
Oh, yeah, it's not even close. I mean, it's an embarrassment, I think, if you are an NFL team.
Yeah, like 13 straight run play. This is the Steel. I mean, it's just like I was telling them Steeler fans in the stadium. This is the playoff team y'all brought. This is the game plan y'all brought after a whole season. This is what y'all. Yeah, it was shameful, man. It was. They're a mess in Pittsburgh, and I love to see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. How surprised are you about the Vikings falling apart last night? Just curious.
As much as Sam Darnold was the darling surprise of the season, and he was up there in the, not competing necessarily at the top, but he was in the MVP discussion, meaning fourth or fifth on the list. But I'm not surprised because he's still That guy. And he crumbled when it mattered most. I saw it in the Bills or the Lions game, the end of the season that was for the division. He missed so many throws that were uncharacteristic. I said, this guy's done. And the people questioning whether they should pay him or not, I think they got their answer. You cannot pay this guy. He wilted in the biggest moment. And they drafted J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan, who won the national championship for a reason. They gotta go with the rookie now that he'll certainly be healthy to start next season with the early injury. But yeah, I think Sam Darnold is nothing more now than a system quarterback who can play well when the lights aren't the brightest.
So you don't think he gets paid starter money somewhere?
Oh, man, that's such a good question, man. I'm trying to think of a team who I think could realistically benefit from getting him. Like, I don't know who's out there.
You don't think the Vikings are just going to pay him?
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. Ooh. Because then what? Then you got to play him. So now you just drafted J.J. McCarthy.
You trade him.
For what? Oh, hell no.
I don't know. I don't know what else you can do.
Well, I think you let him leave.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play I would sign him for a team-friendly deal, but I'm not making him he's not next in line in the quarterback position.
Right, like if you're Miami, are you interested? Are you knocking on the door with Sam Darnold? I'm just trying to think of teams that are. If you're Pittsburgh, are you interested?
Oh, I hope Pittsburgh gets him. Please get him.
You know what I mean?
Please,
Pittsburgh. Are the Jets going to come Are the Jets going to come crawling back on their knees? Could you imagine that?
No way, dude. That would be such a Jets move, dude. Please come back. No, I think Cleveland is certainly a guy, if you guys haven't seen, couldn't happen to a better guy. Sean Watson retore his Achilles and is gone again. In case you hadn't seen, Jimbo.
I did.
Yes, and he did so. And they said the only way this would have happened is because he was being reckless. He was not doing what he's supposed to do, and good for him. But they are on the quarterback market. So
Glenn, when you see something like this happen to this guy, you can tell me you don't believe in a higher power.
I mean, I might.
Does God have a little bit of a sense of humor? You know what I'm saying?
My man. Yeah, what a clown. And he was just doing TikToks on the side of the road with his girlfriend, the day before it was announced that he retore his Achilles.
Jeez,
which was also, kind of surprising.
Did you see Zion Williamson in the Wendy's line and missed the plane? Did you see this? Zion Williamson that was spotted he got fined, I think, or suspended for a game for missing the plane on the way to a game.
My man was getting a Baconator, Jimbo. You can tell him how good it is.
Exactly. When he was supposed to be at the airport or shortly prior to whatever, he was in the drive-thru at a Wendy's.
That is absolutely perft. Of course
he's trimmed up though. He's trimmed up though.
He is, good. But that's not a good look, man.
No, it's because he's dumb, right? That's just dumb. Not, you know what I'm saying? It's just stupid.
It's so stupid. But yeah, I think Sam Darnold to the Browns would make a lot of sense. They run a similar offense.
What could Stefanski do with him?
Well, he can at least
look what he did with Joe Flacco. Is he better than Joe Flacco at his age? You know what I'm saying? Like an aged Joe Flacco?
Don't make me say that Sam Darnold is better than Joe Flacco. I'll say this. You might be onto something, but I'm not going to say it out my mouth. Okay.
No, Joe Flacco at 38.
I know, but it's still, I don't like to say it. Oh, you just got it. Look, apparently that was fake, Jimbo. You're,
Oh, did I get tricked? I thought he got suspended a game though.
I've seen him in the news lately, so it's possible, but I don't know if they caught him at the Wendy's drive-thru.
I'm done with Twitter. I'm done. I'm too old for Twitter, dude. I can't decipher this crap. It looked real.
Well, look, it's no shock. I don't think anybody would be shocked to see that he was in the drive-thru at Wendy's.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we were talking about Diontae earlier.
Where you guys?
I did.
Yeah, it's just hilarious, man.
Yeah, these guys are literally smoking celebratory cigars, and he's sulking in the corner making a scene.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah,
that is just wild.
Yeah, it's pretty weird stuff, but yeah, that was pretty. But yeah, I think Sam Darnold showed who he is in the biggest moments. I don't know what GM will go, all right, I'll take a guy who's been really good in the regular season who falls apart in the playoffs.
Yeah. He's getting paid though, Glenn. You can book it.
Yeah, but he's not like the next in line at quarter. He's not going to get the next.
I guarantee you that he gets at least what Baker got. 3 years, $100 million.
Well, how far down the
He had a
pecking
better
order is
season than
Baker?
Baker. And Baker got 3 years, 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a much better season than Baker. Dude, he just won 11 games.
That's true. And it's not, I mean, yeah, but he's got some
In
players.
a tough division.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
you got to give him credit to some degree. He is throwing to the best receiver in the league. They got a pretty good running back in Aaron Jones.
And look at Baker's receivers when he got paid.
That's true. That's a good point.
You take him from Carolina, you take him, with two guys that's probably the best. I mean, top three duos when they're both healthy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like Mike Evans is incredible.
Glenn's better when he isn't back. I don't know what that means.
I think he's saying you're better when you are or aren't drunk. Bag?
Well, I better be better when I'm not drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
everybody
pretty bad.
loves drunk Glenn. I gotta tell you.
Only because you're right, and you get short stints. You got me out of there before I got crazy and started doing dumb stuff.
Shout out to TJ, dude. He's a saint.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He was ready to take any punches that I might have deserved. Okay.
You know what would be the worst though? If TJ even same for me. This is not a knock on TJ. If any of us that were with you at the game wanted to take a blow, you know what I'm saying? Just wanted to take whack, like a sacrificial punch to block Glenn, they would have missed because it would have gone right over our heads.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right over the head. If they're aiming at your head, yeah, right. Not happening. TJ would have to jump in the air like a seal at
like he's doing a header in soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Just take one, dude.
It's like Cristiano Ronaldo. Punch to the face.
Man. Oh, man.
Yeah, I only wish I could go to Buffalo, man.
I know.
I probably wouldn't make it out of that stadium, though.
Honestly. I know. I was actually trying to figure out how I can drive there with my wife and my 2 kids and my parents and have them watch the kids while we go to the game and get there and back and buy tickets and a hotel room for under $1,000. Like, how can I do this? I'm like, okay, if I can do this under $1,000, I'm doing it. But I don't think I could convince all the other parties involved that it would be a good idea.
That's a lot of people you'd be bringing.
Because, like, I don't know how else we see the game at 6:30. I'm not taking the kids to the game.
No.
I could take Henry and just, he just have his headphones on. He would have a blast, but
he'd be a little chilly.
Yeah, but Eugene would be, he'd be pissed off.
Well, judging by what I've seen from Bills fans on X and other social media, I had a certain level of respect for Bills Mafia and what they no way. Oh, I'm so hyped. I just saw who won. I'm so hyped. I don't know if DK knows who that is, but I'm very hyped to see that. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know if you remembered, but
wait, who won our weekly?
You don't even want to know, Jimbo.
Oh, did you win?
I mean, your boy was sweeping.
It's funny, DK, because Glenn was sweating it the whole time, dude. Sweating it the whole time. He's asking me, "Hey, what was the whole time, DK?" Let me tell you what.
Well, you're gonna see the results, but no, some of the stuff I've seen from Bills Mafia in regards to Lamar Jackson has been absolutely just unbelievable. Like,
come on, guys, as a society, are we not better than this?
Like Bills Mafia, I'm sure that the majority are good, just big time football fans. But you need to correct some of your guys in your Mafia, because some of them guys are putting the most racist, like, horrible thing all over a stupid ass MVP award. Like, so I'm not going to put up what they've shown. I know that the boys have seen it. It's absolutely unbelievable, and all of this is stemming from a reporter in Baltimore named Jerry Coleman was asking John Harbaugh questions during his Monday presser. And it came up, I don't know how exactly it came up, that Bills Mafia doesn't like Jerry Coleman for things he said years ago. And so John, not knowing the can of worms he was opening, said, "Do you care to share what you said?" And Jerry Coleman went on to explain that he said he called Buffalo the city of losers. And John immediately said, "I shouldn't have asked. Let's move on." And there were some snickers from the rest of the reporters, but it was more of like, they're not like laughing like in agreement. They're like, oof, like almost like uncomfortable laughing. And some Bills fans have grabbed this piece of footage and have now somehow made this bulletin board material for their fan base, because I know the team isn't stupid enough to buy into this. So one of the most disliked, if not the most disliked reporter in all of Baltimore made a stupid comment, and now they're trying to turn it into bulletin board material. And then they use that as a way to now rip Lamar Jackson. A reporter who's not even liked in the city of Baltimore makes a stupid comment, and you use that to post racist remarks about the quarterback. It's absolutely, it's foolish. It's crazy. And I think Bills Mafia should be embarrassed.
Dude, and it's so funny how they want this to be. I just don't understand. I don't understand the narrative. What did we do wrong to CBS? What did Josh Allen do right to CBS? I just saw a graphic posted 6 hours ago, and this could be fake again. It doesn't look fake.
Yeah, hold on now. We got to check it out.
It's the NFL. It's CBS. They got 1.6 million followers. It's freaking CBS. NFL and CBS. It says Ravens have 6 All-Pros while the Bills only have 1. And they have this graphic up of all of our All-Pros on the left, and then Josh Allen being first and second team, of course, Josh Allen being on the right, as if he's going to be Hercules and just, he has no one else on his team. Like, I know they're all pissed because Lamar was the All-Pro, the Bills players. I know that, like, this will be a motivating factor in the game, but dang, they should be pissed that they don't get any credit except for Josh Allen. Like, he's not playing with a bunch of scrubs. What are we talking about here?
It's
Come on, guys. What are we
foolish.
doing? Let me also say this. I hate that. What's his name? I hate that Tony Romo is calling this game.
He's so lazy now.
I wish that it were Tom Brady. He's so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
He
like,
is.
it's just like them in football, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who would you rather have, Tom Brady or Tony? If Tony Romo was all you saw, you'd be like, okay. But then as soon as Tom walks on the scene, you're like, oh, I'm never not muting Tony Romo again.
Yeah. No, Tony Romo is lazy. He's not prepared. It's absolutely crazy. But I do want to quickly point this out because Cole Jackson, I think, put this up here and pointed something out.
Cole was outside, by the way. Homeboy was outside all weekend, as in, like.
Oh, yeah, he was out there.
Boy was wilding.
He was having a good time. But
enjoying himself.
In the debate of who has the better surrounding cast, if you just talk about their offense, I think Cole did a good job of kind of breaking this down. And certainly running back, you'll take Derrick Henry. Fullback, I mean, of course.
Sure.
Wide receiver 1, we'll take our guy in Flowers. And wide receiver 2, Amari Cooper is certainly far more accomplished. A 5-time Pro Bowler, has had multiple 1,000-yard seasons. He's done a lot. So he'll get number 2. Number 3 is Shakir from Buffalo. Both tight ends are going to come from Baltimore, although he points out here at the bottom, I mean, Dalton Kincaid is a very good player, and it's a tough matchup to decide between Likely and Dalton Kincaid. And I think there's plenty of people who would pick Kincaid that are maybe outside of Baltimore. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
And the same can be said in reverse about Cooper and Rashad Bateman, at least right now in the state that they're in right now. So both those two are interchangeable. But what's not interchangeable, Jimbo, and it's glaring, look at the offensive line, and he's 1,000% right about this. Left tackle, you're taking Dawkins 100 times out of 100. As good a season as Stanley is having, he's not even close to what Dawkins is doing this year.
Ouch.
Andrews is your left guard. We'll take Linderbaum because Lindy's the best center in the game. But right guard and right tackle, again, we're going back to Buffalo. So the 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen are better in Buffalo. And so it's 6-6. And even if you switch these ones down to bottom, there's 1 in each direction. So let's stop acting like, first of all, what do you find to be the most important piece or position group?
Yeah, the O-line. You know me.
So, like, let's not act like he doesn't get help. It's nonsensical to say he doesn't have help.
Yeah. Yeah, it's outrageous, dude. I just don't. I don't understand it. Yeah, Bills Mafia, you guys should be cheering on the other guys and not simply saying it's the Josh Allen show because they do so much to support him. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah. Nonsense.
Oh, I can't wait for this game. I can't wait for this narrative to be put to bed. I can't wait for them to win the kick, defer, and us to go up 7-0, and then us stop them, and then them being like,
set in.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to see the faces change in the stadium. And
Oh, Jimbo. I think KVN's going to have a big one this game. I think
Yeah.
Kyle Van Noy is going to be on Josh Allen's ass.
Well, it needs to be 99. Well, it needs to be both of them in all actuality, right? But
Yeah, I just think 99 is probably going to have a little bit more of Dawkins to deal with. And that guy's a dancing bear this year. He's
that's fair.
He's
But
been
yeah, Kyle Van
phenomenal.
Noy, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
The technique, dude, he's really playing great football, man.
He certainly is. Certainly is. I hope we continue to bring this guy back
Mhm.
until he's ready to hang it up. But look, we got to get into the competition results, Jimbo. We had a competition over the weekend, changed it up a bit for the playoffs where we kind of did Final Jeopardy style and that we used our bank of wins that we accrued over the season. And then we could gamble any amount of those wins each game in a way to really what we did was we gave away for Jimmy to have a chance because he was so
had a
down
bad
in the
year, guys.
dumps,
He's had a bad year.
You know what I mean? So we had to give him a way of getting back in it. And we're also excited to announce our fan winner for this week as well. But let's get into and recap the results of last week's competition.
Let's do it. All right, number one. You know what, Glenn? I'm going to make you go over these.
Huh? All right, number one.
I ain't doing it. I lost. I'm salty. Okay.
You don't know that yet. We haven't gone over it yet, Jimmy.
Well, I didn't win it. Okay, guys. Maybe DK or Glenn won it. I didn't.
Well, number one is Derrick Henry rushing yards. DK set the over-under at 125.5. He ultimately ended up with 186. Let's see. Me and just me. Just me said over on this one. Whereas DK and Jimmy said under. So I was the only one to get the first one right. Next one, please.
You guys see where this is going?
Now we have the second over-under. Mark Andrews receiving yards. 35.5 is where it was set. He only ended up with 5. As I predicted, Isaiah likely had the far bigger game since he was the, not the one getting all the attention. So I predicted they would go under. He would go under, and I was right. And they both predicted he would go over, and they were both wrong. All right, 2-0, baby. Let's go. 0-2 for the boys. Number 3, Ravens sack total. Man, I mean, Jimbo, we nailed this one. You got to give yourself a little credit on this one. 4.5 is where it was set. They end up with 4. Me and you predicted that they would get exactly 4, and they did. We were right. DK said over, and so he was wrong. So 3-0 for me, 0-3 for DK, 1-2 after 3 for you. All right, last one. Final one, Ravens penalties. 5.5 is where it was set, and you guys had no faith. And I told you that this wrong would be righted. And look, I mean, not only did they go under, they went under just easily. 3 penalties is all they had. I said under. You both said over. 4 for 4, Jimbo. I mean, bada bing, bada boom. I cracked it out of the park.
You did. You did. Credit deserved. Go. Credit is given where credit is earned. Something like that.
That's it.
There you go. You won it. I'm officially bankrupt.
Oh, that's right. You gambled all of your winnings.
I did. That's the only way to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I guess we should finish up with a tiebreaker. Total score over under 46.5 is where it was set. They totaled 42 as a combined result there. And Jimbo, again, Glenn, the only one, the people's champ to correctly predict under on this one as you both picked over. You thought, Jimbo, you really thought the Steelers would get 24 points?
I was just a couple long balls, couple defensive breakdowns,
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was a bad move. It was a bad day for me.
But one thing that remained constant, Jimbo, is you were once again the most accurate when it comes to total yards for the Ravens and the closest to the pin challenge. 464 was the total. You were the closest, predicting 400. So at least you didn't get totally shut out, Jimbo.
It's got to mean something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Glenn Martin for the win. DK, and look, I didn't lose to DK. That's for sure.
Look, we're going to have to call DK the Sam Darnold of our competition. I mean, my man was on fire during the regular season when them lights got bright. He wilted.
Ooh.
And I love that I can talk all this shit.
Brutal. Just brutal.
But I don't know what we're going to do. DK, we're going to have to come up with a way so Jimmy can participate next weekend.
Well, I just am going to participate because, you know what I'm
You'll
saying?
get one. You'll get one.
That's right. Hey, it's better than none.
One. That's right.
I just want to also shout. Oh, let's talk about the fan winner real quick.
Oh, yeah. We got a legend. We got a celebrity here. Oh, yeah. 8 wins. People's champ.
Let's go.
But our fan winner, and it is a celebrity, ladies and gentlemen. This is a legend of the channel, a very active participant, and also was in the building for the Ravens win over the Steelers. Let's throw it up on the screen here right now. Tyler Brooks, this week's winner. I don't see him in the chat tonight, but I know he'll be watching this at some point, and he will see it. So shout out to Tyler. Just text me your info. You know the digits. By the way, I don't know if you noticed that I added Poe to the background.
I like it.
That's right.
Dude, where's the wristband that you had on?
Bro, I don't even know.
Oh, Glenn.
Let me tell you this. How cool is this? You got to hear this. So I've never lost my phone, my wallet, or my keys in my life. Knock on wood.
Yep.
Never, ever. I've misplaced them momentarily, but never lost completely. So going to a Ravens game, especially the amount of alcohol I was drinking, that's always the risk. Can I leave? Can I come home with all the stuff I left home with? And so in preparation, I said, all right, I'm wearing long johns, then my tightest sweatpants, then my baggiest sweatpants. Anybody who's worn sweatpants knows sometimes when you sit down, the pockets aren't deep. Your things will fall out of your pockets. So I didn't want that to be a risk, but I also didn't want to be digging if it's stuff I need to get to often and quickly. So I put my keys on the inside sweatpants pants pocket, not on the outside because I thought they might fall out. So I'm back at my brother's house. I'm absolutely slobber knockered, and I'm doing my patented pat down, and I don't feel my keys. I do not feel my keys in my interior sweatpants. I'm like, oh my God, did I put them in my jacket? They're not there. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I lose my keys finally? And then I take a couple steps and I hear, ching, 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 ching. I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I pull up, I take my pant leg, and my keys had fallen out of my pocket, but were stopped at my ankle by the elastic, the elasticity held them. So I'm walking the streets of Baltimore while my keys are just right at my ankle. At any moment could fall, and yet they stayed in my pants. And I love it. I got very lucky. Oh my, look who's back in the chat, Jimbo, this goofball who said he was going to be here for the post game, but he wasn't. He cowered out like they all do.
Now he's talking trash about us.
And now he's a fucking Bills fan.
He's coming after the game, dude.
He's a Bills fan, dude. He's a Bills fan now. He sold all his Steelers memorabilia. Seriously? And now is a full-on Bills fan.
And I also like how he's doing the same thing that Bills fans do. You're going to get beat by Josh Allen. No, if you're going to say it, it's the Bills. Josh Allen has a team he plays with. Right? Like
That's right.
Oh my gosh, this goofball. DK, let's just block him now because we have the power to do that.
Are we done with him?
And it's more fun. Yeah. I don't feel like dealing with him. Bye, dude. Bye, Maverick. We'll see you later. Catch you another time. See us after the game. You had your opportunity after the game. You didn't show up. It's too late. Too little, too late. But the other thing, yeah, exactly. The other thing I was gonna say too is, I wanted to point this out. The shout out to the Bills. Do you know who their legend of the game is going to be?
If it's Jim Kelly, I like that guy.
No. It's funny how think of our legends of the game, right? You have Haloti as the captain. You have Terrell Suggs, right? You had Ray come out. You know who the legend of the game is?
Oh, hold on. Can I guess?
Yeah.
All right. Is he a former Raven also?
No.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell me Lee Evans. I was going to say, if they brought out just to troll us, Lee Evans, because he was a big-time member of the Bills.
He's a media member.
A media member?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Dan Orlovsky?
No.
Okay.
No. He's a Bill. Like he's a former Bill as well.
Well, we know it ain't OJ. Too soon? I don't know. That's too soon. All right, tell me. I give up.
All right, it's Fitzmagic, dude. That's their legend of the game, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He was there for how many years?
Yeah,
how many playoff games did he win?
Right. Dude, legend of the game? What?
Maybe Jerry Coleman was right. I'm just saying.
I'm not siding with Jerry Coleman on too many things these days.
But I'm saying, to your point, all the guys we bring back as legends, they done something. They done something when it mattered the most. What the hell has Fitzmagic done other than been a cool regular season storyline? Like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So he does have a glorious beard, though. Glorious.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for us tonight, folks. Looking forward to Thursday night. I think it's the night we'll run. And make sure you're here. We are, of course, the late game on Sunday, so it's going to be a long weekend waiting for this game. But we'll be back getting y'all prepped for the game. That's it for us tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon, and we'll see you later, I guess.
See you.